What's up everyone, this is Sid from the GameSpeak channel, and today I'm here to review Tekken 7. Now, as soon as you start this game on, you'll see that there's quite a lot to the menu. They've got jukebox, gallery, VR mode, all sorts. But the main thing that you're going to want to look at right now is the Mishima Saga, which is basically the story mode. It's no surprise that they've kind of like taken a page out of Mortal Kombat's book, and they've got the whole playing through different characters and all sorts. It's a very refreshing kind of way to play the story mode. You've still got your arcade mode and everything like that, so don't worry, you can play on offline, but this is a really good addition. I really like it. I know the previous games have had story modes as well, but in this one it's just really good. You've got all your main characters that will fill up your nostalgia needs. There are a couple missing, but we'll talk about that later. The main thing is the game works. It does a really good job of making you feel like you're playing the old Tekken games. It doesn't feel like it's a completely new game, kind of like Street Fighter 5 tried to change things up quite a bit. I know the graphical upgrades and all that kind of stuff, but the game did feel a bit different. And whereas this one, all the moves, everything kind of like when you're playing it just reminds you of the old Tekken games. It doesn't really try to do much different. And everything that it has done differently, it does quite a lot a bit better. It's almost like this game is less of a sequel and more of a remastered or a remake, but without it being similar and all that sort, it is a new game in all of its own sort. But here's something that I kind of like about this game as well. When you're playing through the story mode, it doesn't just make you go through all the characters that you know. It makes you go through these little dummies, shall we say, with the Mishima Zaibatsu soldiers. Like you're going to see Hayachi go through this whole CGI scene, and then it just like merges into the fight. There is a bit of you notice a bit of frame drops here and there, and graphically they've added this kind of like graininess to it, and it kind of gets in the way of how beautiful the game could have looked. But they're trying to go for that gritty Tekken look, which I understand. But that being said, it does make me say a negative thing about the game, whereas the graphics aren't as good as they could have been. But hey, who knows? There might have been some reasons for it, like trying to keep the whole 60 frames per second or something. But I tell you what, playing through these people just makes you feel so like, it makes you feel like a god. You are playing as Hayachi, I guess, and they're trying to show like how awesome he is. And you'll notice when I say that this game's a bit of a remaster or whatever, it's because they've got all these cool scenes from the previous FMV sequences of the old games, and then you're actually playing through those FMV sequences that you've previously seen. So it might feel like they're doing a cheap cop-out or anything like that, but I don't think so. I think the game is trying to make you remember the good old days. And look, it's merged from the CGI sequence to you fighting against Jack 4. The CGI sequences look amazing. And, that's what makes me think the actual game, they could have made it look this crisp as well. Well, not this crisp, but it does have its moment where look, in this map, it's a bit more brighter and a bit more colourful. And, when you're playing as Lars, you get to do this cool thing where you're playing with the gun. Like you've just shifted straight from like playing, oops, I've shot a few random people there. But yeah, it just changes the game up a little bit. It adds a little bit of flair to the whole boring, straightforward fighting, whereas it just adds a little bit of a change to it. Again, the whole nostalgia feeling, like I was playing as Li Chaolan here, and I just felt like I could remember all the moves. What you just see Lisa doing here is rage mode. It kind of like, look, she was almost dying, but it brings the game, it gives it that little bit of kickback, or shall I say the X-ray vision mode from Mortal Kombat. And you get the flower to the face. And that's another cool thing. I know you just saw it go grey out, but it has these slow motion modes in the game where it knows specifically where someone's about to do like a really cool hit or something, and it just goes into a bit of slow motion. How the game moves from like the game to the FMV sequence is quite nice as well. You got these little character episodes as well. So each character has a little bit of a story mode. You can see that there's quite a lot of characters here. But yeah, like when you go into it, you'll get a little bit of a bio page with the little story, so that you don't feel like you're missing out with all the characters in the Mishima Saga. But Horang, when you play him here, you'll get a little bit of a freeze frame, and then a little bit of information. It's really cool. But I'll tell you what's really, really like where they've put a little bit of the whole Japanese element to it is these crazy customizations, like the amount of stuff you can do. There's one where you can even put a pizza on someone's back. That's right, I said a pizza on someone's back. And then you got like a deer, like with the antlers and everything. You can do Ghost Rider. I don't know why you'd want to do some of these crazy things to your character, but for online mode it's great because it gives you a bit of flair and makes you a bit different from everyone else. And bricks on the head could be a little bit of a good distraction. It could be the little bit of edge that you need on online mode. But yeah, it just the game does give you a lot for your money. You've even got this old the movie mode that they've brought back, and you can see these old videos of the Tekken 1, Tekken 2, go through all the FMV sequences, all the finishing sequences, and what you just saw here as well was the loading screen. This can be a bit annoying because every time you're playing this, like, if you replay the match, you got to see that sequence every time, and it just adds a little bit of frustration. But I tell you what, sometimes that frustration is good, because I was playing as Steve and trying to fight Hayachi for quite a long time, and I was like losing, and I got so frustrated that I just kind of like went crazy on him, and just, yeah, you can see here. The main thing is, when you do that, you got to try and make sure you don't let the other character get the rage mode. And again, cool little slowdown sequence there. I gotta say, I really like this game. The whole game is just, like a bring back of old memories of why you love this game so much. I honestly did not think I would be keeping this game. I thought I was going to be playing it for a little bit and then trading it in or something like that. But this is definitely a keep for me. And I would definitely recommend this game for everyone else as well. Before I forget though, there are a couple of characters missing. For example, Roger, because apparently some animal activists got in the way of it and they didn't like the fact that he was being attacked. But they're totally fine with a bear being attacked, which doesn't make sense to me. Lei as well, Eddie Gordo, but you got Eddie Gordo's daughter. There's a couple missing, but you know why they're missing. There's going to be DLC. That's got to be the reason, and they're gonna have to make some extra money out of you somehow or another. It's a really good game, and I think people will be tempted to buy the DLC, and it works because you're not gonna want to buy a DLC for new characters that you've never played before. You're gonna want to play some of the old characters again, so that's where they're gonna get you. But that being said, most of the main ones are there, so don't worry about that. Other than that, the game is just all-rounded good. It kind of hits and ticks all the boxes. Something that, again, like I'm going to compare it to Street Fighter 5. It did not tick all the boxes. It didn't have story mode, barely worked as an online mode game. You're not going to buy this game and feel shortchanged. It is your money's worth. That's what makes this game very easily recommendable. The only bad side I could say is that the graphics doesn't look that great. That's the only thing. That's all for now. I hope you liked my review. Be sure to click like and subscribe. Bye for now.